What's going on, tennis fam, and welcome back. Today we're breaking down a story that is sending absolute shockwaves through the tennis community. We're talking about a storyline that's just pure electricity packed with underdog spirit and some serious high-stakes drama, and it's been lighting up headlines and starting fiery debates from Manila to Astana and deep into the California desert. If you've scrolled through social media at all in the last few days, you've definitely seen the headlines blowing up your feed. All of Kazakhstan in shock. Alexandra Eala against world number 3 Elena Rybakina at the BNP Paribas Open. All right, before we get totally swept up in the huge excitement of those headlines, let's just hit pause, figure out what's real and what's not, and plant our feet firmly in what's actually happening on the 2026 WTA Tour. The real story is that the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells hasn't even begun yet. The main competition doesn't get underway until early March. Those viral stories about a massive, already finished upset in the desert are just that hype that got ahead of itself, all driven by the internet's constant need for a David versus Goliath tale. But don't go anywhere because the truth of what's happening is undeniably exciting. Both Alexandra Eala and Elena Rybakina are confirmed to be in the main draw at Indian Wells, and they are on a very likely path to face each other. This is not just some cooked-up excitement. This is a genuinely compelling clash of styles that has the entire world of tennis waiting with bated breath. Let's just look at the raw data. Alex Eala just catapulted to her best-ever ranking sitting at world number 31. She pulled that off after an absolute clinic in toughness resilience and strategic genius at the Abu Dhabi Open, where she showed everybody she can hang with the most experienced players. Standing on the opposite side of the court is Elena Rybakina. We aren't just reacting to some clickbait today. We're breaking down the real significance of this potential showdown. We will be analyzing the incredible rise of the Filipino phenom, the ice-veined dominance of the Kazakhstani powerhouse, the very unique strategic battlefield that is the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, and precisely what could unfold when these two phenomenal athletes finally meet on the same court. This is the ultimate guide to the match that everyone is anticipating. Let's get to it. To really grasp the importance of this possible confrontation, we need to begin with the massive rise of Alexandra Eala. For a long time, the tennis community has kept a close watch on Eala, noticing her junior Grand Slam titles and her incredible dedication at the Rafa Nadal Academy. However, 2026 is the year that the prodigy has truly emerged as a top-level force. Her latest run at the Abu Dhabi Open was an absolute game-changer. We all witnessed that brutal, nearly 3-hour marathon against Alexander Sasnovich. Eala had lost the first set, was facing a huge hole in the decisive third, and was looking straight at a loss. Yet, this is the very thing that makes Eala different from the rest. She brings more than just a world-class forehand to the table. She possesses world-class mental strength. Clawing back from 0-4, down in that third set to take it in a tense tiebreak revealed a kind of composure that simply isn't something you can coach. Chatting with reporters after that victory, Eala explained in Tagalog that the contest was a real test of her spirit and resolve. That competitive fire, that unwillingness to back down, is precisely what launched her into the top 40 and now up to number 31 in the world. She is competing now with the support of a whole country behind her, shouldering the hopes of the Philippines every single time she walks onto the hard courts. Now let's flip this around to the other side of the matchup. Elena Rybakina is more than just a player in the top tier. At this moment in time, she is the benchmark. Coming right off an amazing championship win at the Australian Open and a giant prize at the WTA Finals late last year, Rybakina is showing up in California with her best game in hand, not trying to find it. In the world of tennis, there's a huge gap between a player hoping to get into a rhythm and a player who is already locked in. Rybakina's on-court decisions right now are completely instinctual. Her first serve comes with complete punishing conviction. Her backhand down the line isn't a defensive fallback. It's a direct statement of her control. When you observe Rybakina's on-court presence, she's well known for being imperturbable. The Ice Queen from Kazakhstan offers her opponents zero emotional clues. It doesn't matter if she's ahead by a double break or defending a match point. Her look barely changes and her game plan continues to be relentlessly methodical. She delivers an immense, consistent power to the game that isn't built on hot streaks. It's built on perfect timing and flawless biomechanics. So what is the result when the passionate, tough tenacity of Eala clashes with the cool, calculated strength of Rybakina? We need to get into the strategic details. To start, it's the serve versus the return. Rybakina has what is arguably the top serve in women's tennis today. She was number 1 on the tour last year in that department and leverages her height and razor-sharp precision to rack up free points. Eala, on the other hand, is a brilliant returner with exceptionally quick reflexes. Eala's left-handed game will make Rybakina hit some tricky second serves wide into the ad court, a setup that Eala can capitalize on with her heavy cross-court topspin forehand. Secondly, there's the baseline fight. Rybakina prefers to keep the rallies brief. She aims to fire flat, piercing ground strokes that steal time from her adversary. Eala's game plan will be the complete opposite. Eala has to pull Rybakina into grueling extended points. By using high-heavy topspin, Eala can force Rybakina to play from behind the baseline, making the Kazakhstani create her own power from a defensive spot. Third, let's consider movement. Eala's greatest strengths are her lateral agility and her capacity to turn a defensive play into an offensive one. If Rybakina's footwork is even a fraction too slow, Eala will chase down additional shots, draw out the points, and bait the world number 3 into making unforced mistakes. But strategies are not developed in isolation. They are shaped by their environment. And the setting for the BNP Paribas Open is completely distinct. There's a good reason Indian Wells is called the 5th Grand Slam, but its playing conditions are famously difficult to master. The courts in the California desert have a gritty, slow surface, but the thin desert air lets the ball travel swiftly, creating an exceptionally high bounce. Historically, surfaces like this strongly benefit players who generate immense topspin. For instance, think of Rafa Nadal on the men's tour. The high bounce gives topspin specialists the power to command the game. In theory, the slow court and high bounce present a clear strategic advantage for Alexandra Eala. The abrasive court surface would help her hunt down Rybakina's flat, powerful shots, and she could leverage the high bounce to send the ball climbing out of Rybakina's preferred hitting zone. Yet, we can't disregard the past. Elena Rybakina claimed the BNP Paribas Open title in 2023. She established that her methodical aggression and consistent power were formidable enough to penetrate the dense desert atmosphere. If Rybakina feels confident in her rhythm, the high bounce transforms into a chance for her to step inside the court and smash the ball as it comes up, which completely negates the slow speed of the court. This is precisely what turns this potential contest into a true game of chess. It's a showdown of opposing playstyles made more dramatic by the polarizing environment of Indian Wells. To bring this in-depth analysis to a close, the idea of Alexandra Eala facing Elena Rybakina at the BNP Paribas Open is much bigger than a potential match in the second or third round. It represents a collision of career paths. You have the swiftly rising talent from the Philippines, propelled by extraordinary national backing, newly equipped with a top 31 ranking and determined to establish her place among the sport's top tier. Standing squarely in her path is the quintessential final challenge in today's women's tennis. A Grand Slam victor at the absolute pinnacle of her abilities who hits the ball with terrifying precision and embodies the pride of Kazakhstan. Regardless of whether they face off early in the event or well into the final stages, this is the very sort of stylistic and cultural contest that the world of tennis desperately needs at this moment. It showcases the phenomenal expanding global influence of the WTA Tour in 2026 and demonstrates that the divide between the established top players and the eager new wave of talent is narrower than it has ever been. Now, I'd like to get your opinion. What do you believe would really unfold if Eala and Rybakina were to clash in the desert? Does Eala possess the defensive determination and the heavy topspin required to neutralize the world's third-ranked player? Or would Rybakina's sheer overpowering force prove to be too much for the Filipina sensation to overcome? Post your score predictions and strategic analysis in the comments section just below. Please be sure to click the like button if you appreciated this comprehensive look at the matchup. Subscribe to our channel for additional daily tennis analysis and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing as we approach the Indian Wells main draw. Thanks a million for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.